let's go. Batter up. We're taking the afternoon off. It's a beautiful day for a ball game, today. The fans are out to get a ticket or two. From Walla Walla, Washington to Kalamazoo. It's a beautiful day for a home run, but even a triple's okay. We're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today.
Hey everybody, it's me, Rick Acosta, the Dodger Card Collector, coming to you with another video. I am in beautiful Cambria, California, on the Central Coast, going for my morning walk here in what is called the Fiscalini Ranch Preserve. It's an area of about 437 acres that's protected from any type of development out here. So it's just pretty beautiful out here. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to flip the camera around here. Does that work? All right, so that wasn't able to work, so I'm going to just turn the camera around. I am in Cambria, California, and for those of you familiar with the area, this is up by Hearst Castle. It's probably like the midway point between LA and San Francisco, and it's kind of an artist colony up here, artist village, whatever you want to call it. Roughly 5,000 people, some beautiful homes, and we've got mountains and forests and the Pacific Ocean, and there's deer up here. It's a really beautiful area of California. It's pretty remote, I will say that, but I like it. If I could afford to, I would retire down here, up here, but it's a little too expensive too at the same time. All right, so what we're going to do today, this is part 2 of my top 60 videos. Today we're going to look at card numbers 30 through number 1. So here's my view. Let's go to the cards, you guys. Talk to you later. All right, so we are going. So the previous video we saw card numbers 60 through 31. Number 31 was the 1949 Bowman Roy Campanella. So we'll start off, so we're going to do cards 30 through 1, starting off with card number 30, which is the 1913 T200 Fatima team card of the Brooklyn National League team, which at this point, I think they are the Superbas. Who's in this card? Zach Wheat's in this card. Casey Stengel's in this card, just to name a couple. So that's number 30. We'll put that one up there. Coming in at card number 29. 1954 Topps Al Kaline in a 3. It's marked. I always forget where it's marked, and I always forget the luck. But that is card number 29. Al Kaline, 1954 Topps. Coming in at number 28. The 1941 play ball, Hank Greenberg in a PSA 3. You're going to start seeing some more 1941 play ball cards as we go up this count. And speaking of that, the next card coming in at number 27 is the 1941 play ball Mel Ott in a PSA 4. I think that's one of the first non-Dodger play ball cards I bought was the Mel Ott. I think Jimmy Fox might have been before this one, but this one's one of the first, Mel Ott. Okay, so we are now up to number 26, and that's going to be the 1950 Bowman, Ted Williams. Ted Williams. And that's card number 25, or 26, excuse me. Coming in, though, at number 25 is the 1933 Gowdy, Mr. Robert Lefty Grove in a PSA 2. Good looking Gowdy card. Definitely one of my favorite cards from that set. So that's Lefty Grove. Coming in next at number 24 is the 1957 Topps Mickey Mantle card I bought this at the very first Burbank card show in Burbank, California. It was a very small, it was a show at the Marriott, and it was nowhere near the size it is today. They only lasted in that arena, in that auditorium, like once, and then they moved to Ontario, and now they flip-flop between Ontario and Anaheim. But here's Mickey Mantle. Always good to see Mickey Mantle in a card collection. Coming in at number 23, the 1950 Bowman Yogi Berra. Those 50 Bowmans are good-looking cards. That's for sure. All right, what's next? Coming in now at number 22 is the 1954 Topps Jackie Robinson. I think I paid like $100 for this card, honestly. eBay used to do 15% off sales. It was $125, and with the 15, it came out to like something like $105, something along those lines. That's Jackie Robinson. We got another play ball card coming to you at number 21, and that is the 41 play ball Jimmy Fox in a PSA 3. That's a good looking card. That one really is. Jimmy Fox. Coming in at number 20, the 1957 Topps Brooks Robinson in an SGC 4.5. I bought this card at the Long Beach Card Show off Ash. It's a long story. I bought it I put a deposit at the Long Beach show, picked it up a week or two later at the Burbank show, and paid off my balance. So there's Brooks Robinson. Okay, probably the most surprising card in this top 60 list is who's coming in at number 19. That is the 1941 play ball Gene Moore. Gene Moore in a PSA 8, which probably explains the reason why it's coming in at number 19. I think 8, I have a couple of 8s in that 41 play ball set. I don't have any 9s or 10s. So that's Gene Moore. All right, coming in at number 18 is the 1959 Topps Sandy Koufax in a PSA 7 with a qualifier. It's been miscut. I got this card extremely cheap back in the day. Good looking smile on that card. Okay, so now we're up to number 17. And that's going to bring us to the 1953 Topps Satchel Paige in a PSA 1. My one and only Satchel Paige card in my collection. I don't see myself getting any others. That 49 Bowman's really nice, but I'll probably have to pass. But I'll take this one. That's the 53 Topps Satchel Paige. And then coming in at number 16, a rookie card, 1949 Bowman Edwin Duke Snyder in a PSA 1. That's Duke Snyder. And we are now entering the top 15. So let's move these guys out of the way. Let me get my next stack here. All right, so coming in now, we're in the top 15. And that's going to be the 1965 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 4.5. I think, yeah, this is the first Mickey Mantle card I ever owned. Even as a kid, I didn't own a Mickey Mantle card. I didn't even know that 1964 Topps Giant card when I was a kid. So this is my first Mickey Mantle card. I wish I could say the first of a complete set, but it's more like the first of several. So that's Mickey Mantle. Okay, coming in at number 14 is a 1957 Topps Sandy Koufax in a PSA 6. As I mentioned to you in the previous video, I won this card along with the Roberto Clemente in a PSA 5 and about 300 1957 Topps cards. And that was the genesis of me building the 1957 Topps set. That was a pretty easy set to complete, actually, surprisingly. And it was actually a fun set to work on. So that's Sandy Koufax. Coming in at number 14, the 1955 Topps Jackie Robinson in a PSA 4. Good looking Jack card, definitely. Here's a favorite of a lot of people's here. Coming in at number 12 is the 1953 Bowman Color Pee Wee Reese in a PSA 4. Obviously, I'm not going to reveal the value, but I remember I didn't pay much for this card. That's all I can't even tell you the exact amount just because I don't remember. It's somewhere in my computer. But I didn't pay much for this card. So I was pretty happy about that. I know it was like in the $150 range, something along those lines. All right, number 11, my very first big card, I would say, in my collection, and that was the 1955 Topps Sandy Koufax in a PSA 5. I bought this at my LCS, South Bay Sports Cards, in Lomita, California. My friend Ian made me a deal. I don't know if he still does this, but back then, if he liked the card and you left like half the money down, he would basically do layaway plans. So I would come in every 2 weeks and leave money. And I think after 45 days, I walked out with this card and with a huge smile on my face. I've said this a few times for those of you that have seen me a lot, my videos a lot. This was the first dream card for me. Still is the dream card for me. I've had others, but nothing will top this one for me. And that's the 1955 Topps Sandy Koufax. We are now entering the top 10. And that, at number 10, is a 1953 Topps Jackie Robinson in a PSA 2. My brother bought me this card ungraded, and I submitted this card to be graded in my one and only PSA submission. So there's Jackie Robinson. All right, coming in at number 9. And that's going to be the 1968 Topps Nolan Ryan Jerry Koosman rookie card in a PSA 4.5. I won that card. It's been a few months. I bought it. I won it from an auction. I am no longer remembering what auctions I bought things from because there are so many different auction houses these days that I'm staring at. But there is Nolan Ryan. Coming in now at number 8 is the 1941 Play Ball Pee Wee Reese rookie card. This was a fun set to work on. This was one of the first it was probably the first big card I bought because when I worked on the 41 Play Ball set, first I bought all the Dodger team cards just for my Dodger team set, not ever thinking I'd build a 41 Play Ball set. Then down the road, a few years later, I decided to start building one. I wanted to build like a really old, super old vintage set, and I chose this set. So that is the 1941 Play Ball Pee Wee Reese. At number 7, the 1953 Topps Willie Mays in a PSA 1. I would say I overpaid for the card, but because I'm still underwater, I'm still under VCP on this, that's okay. And frankly, every time I see a PSA 1 for sale, it's costs way more than I paid for this one. So I'll stay underwater with this card for a while. That's Willie Mays. That is my favorite Willie Mays card, by the way. I saw this when I worked at a card store as a kid. Loved it. I just love the drawing. It's a great card. Willie Mays. Number 6. One of my best Dodger cards in my collection. It is the 1963 Topps Ken McMullen and some guy named Pete Rose, some guy named Al Weiss, who eventually won a World Series with the Mets, and Pedro Gonzalez, who I have no idea who he is, but there'll be some Yankee fan who'll comment who he is. This card, this was just a fun one to get because when I bought this, I was building Dodger team sets, and I made myself say, if a Dodger's on a card, you have to buy it. So that meant World Series cards, League Leaders cards, checklist cards, combo cards, rookie cards. And when I realized I had to buy a Pete Rose card, I remember thinking, well, it'll be a nice addition to my Dodger team set, and it'll be a nice addition to my collection. So that is the 1963 Rookie Stars featuring Pete Rose in a PSA 3. Okay, we're in the top 5 finally. Coming in number 5, Jolton Joe DiMaggio, 1941 play ball in a PSA 1. Card number 71. I know I won this from an auction house. I can't tell you which auction house. I just don't remember anymore. My only Joe DiMaggio card in my collection, probably the only Joe DiMaggio card I'll ever own. I think when I bought this card, I felt I had kind of gone over the hump on the 41 play ball set. Even though I had some big cards left, getting the DiMaggio was definitely a highlight. So that's Joe DiMaggio. Coming in at number 4. So DiMaggio was 4. No, DiMaggio was 5. Coming in at number 4 is another play ball card. The 1941 play ball Ted Williams in a PSA 3. I bought this at the Pasadena card show, I would say about 15 months ago. Had some help. I had Levon, LA Collection with me. I was texting Terry, TJ Maxx Vintage Cards, just to help me out because I didn't know what to do. And eventually I bought it. This was the last huge card I needed to finish that set. I still had several more cards, but getting the Ted Williams was definitely just felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulder. That'll probably be, I've got a few Ted Williams cards. I got 41. I just showed you a 1950 Bowman. Have a 1955 and a 1957. That might be it for me. We'll see. I don't see much more happening in Ted Williams' world. You never know, but let's see what happens. So that's card number 4. Card number 3. And here's a guy we've shown throughout both videos. This is my 1953 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 1.5. It's marked right there. Some kid named Kenny or Kevin or Kyle or Keith put his initial there, his first initial there. I do remember this. I bought this from Huggins and Scott. It was a couple of years ago. It was my first ever auction win. I remember winning and being absolutely stunned because I paid $800 less than VCP. And I was pretty stoked because I thought the card, like I said, would go for at least $600 more. So that is definitely my favorite Mickey Mantle card. And much like the Ted Williams, it'll probably be that. I do see myself buying some more Mantles. I don't see myself buying any Mantle cards that are older than this card. So that's the 53 Topps Mickey Mantle. Number 2, 1950 Bowman Jackie Robinson in a PSA 2 or SGC 2. Oh, I remember I won this from an auction house. That's all I can tell you. I remember being pretty happy. I think either this card or the DiMaggio card are the most expensive, or the most I ever paid for a card. But it's definitely like, I think doubled in value since I bought the card. And I've had this card, I'd say a couple of years. So that's Jackie Robinson. So what's coming in at number 1? We're going to show you right now. Speaking of Jackie Robinson, a 1956 Topps Jackie Robinson whiteback PSA 6.5. That was a card I got ungraded, put it in my PSA submission. The reason it's number 1 is obviously because of the grade, 6.5. If this were a 3 or a 4, I'm sure that 50 Bowman Jackie Robinson would be the number 1 card in my collection. But that's card number 1, 1956 Topps Jackie Robinson. If you stuck around this long, you guys, and you watched both videos, and if I didn't say it earlier, I'm going to leave you a link for the first part of this video. Thanks so much for watching. This was fun to do. And we'll talk to you soon. All right, take care.